Yeah, I guess I could do like more of on the e-commerce side, and then like if we have time, we'll probably have time though, like dive a little bit into the code. So I think we can get started now. Okay, I'll share my screen. Can everyone see these slides? Yeah, I think someone responded. So these are the slides that I presented at Consensus in Austin, Texas. I think it was the end of April. And it was a talk about um, just how brands and e-commerce are using NFTs more and more in their day-to-day marketing and loyalty, customer retention type um, activities. So I presented along with Adam from XRP Cafe, but we won't be going through Adam's slides because he was mainly talking about XRP Cafe, the NFT exchange. So this is me. Um, sorry, I have a bit of like allergies right now. So you might hear me sniffle, but I'm a developer advocate at Ripple. And prior to Ripple, I was at Shopify for 4 years. And throughout that time, like I really saw the rise of the direct to consumer market where brands would bypass Walmart and like the main chains entirely and then just go directly to their customers. And a lot of them did really well. So you saw like brands like Allbirds, Gymshark going directly to the consumer, and then eventually opening up their own stores too. But they did that because of the relationships that they built with their customers. Um, Not only relationships, but they built communities around their customers, which helped grow their like help market their brand, grow their awareness, and also develop loyalty amongst their customers. So just briefly touching on NFTs on XRPL, it's a relatively new feature and it was launched October 2022, so just recently. Well, not even a year yet. Uh, and it's meant to be super simple for developers to start creating NFTs and developing NFTs into their applications. The main difference from like Ethereum is that there's no need to like code a contract. So already built in, and the main functionalities of minting, trading, burning, royalties, they're already built in. You don't need to develop that into the contract and maybe like worry about how it might be hacked. Well, single API and minimal code required. Yeah, let's move on to like how brands are using NFTs. One of the most prominent brands is Nike. Nike was one of the first, and they're still going pretty strong. They started with digital shoes, where it was just like an image, um, and then they managed to sell 185 million worth of revenue of NFTs, and they involved the community a lot, and in some cases, even allowing the community to co-create some of the digital goods. And so, like one of the main, um, I guess, concepts of Nike was as a add-on to their shoes. So like they would have an NFT um, as part of like a shoe purchase or related to one of their existing brands. And what they're doing now is also linking it into the metaverse. So metaverse is becoming more and more popular. You may have seen Apple, they just released a VR headset. And so you can just imagine if Apple's getting into it, Meta's already into it for like 5 years. And there's going to be a lot of creation that's going to happen around this space. And so people are going to spend more and more time playing games, firstly, and then like hanging out with each other. And then they're going to want to express uh, like their style. And that's going to happen through probably stuff that they're going to buy. And like these are digital goods that are going to be purchased. So Montclair, um, they were also another brand that has released NFTs. Here's an example of 500 limited edition NFTs associated with Montclair's Maya down jacket. And the interesting about thing about this NFT it wasn't awarded to anyone who just bought this particular jacket. You had to buy a specific colorway of the jacket. Um, now that could have been for whatever reason. I don't know, but like that's how specific you can get. That it was only available for that specific type of jacket and colorway. And another one that's currently ongoing and started recently is Starbucks Odyssey. I'm currently participating in this, and for example, they'll incentivize you to do things like buy a signature drink 5 weeks in a row, and then you'll get these check marks, and then you can get a stamp, which is an NFT. So you can see how it's used to incentivize multiple transactions over a period of time. So kind of building a habit. Um, there's other ways they engage their customers, like completing quizzes, watching a video, and taking a virtual tour. So if you complete all of those things in like they call it a journey, um, where it's a bunch of activities grouped together, then you get the NFT. Um, and then you can like use that NFT actually to purchase other NFTs because they have some rare collections where you need to get at least two journeys in order to be able to purchase the NFT from that collection. This is just linking it more to engagement and then rewarding the customer based off of their engagement with an actual NFT that they can show off somewhere. They'll allow us to like print them on cups or something, stickers, who knows. They've also been starting to have meetups. It's interesting. I haven't been to one myself, but um, this goes to show like the communities that form around NFTs are much stronger than if they were to just do loyalty points because loyalty points is very one way. Um, you hit a level and then there's just like one other level after that. There's no real fine grained segmentation within your customer base of like, all right, someone drank 100 coffees this year, but like how segmented are they and what kind of groups can we like form within that type of customer. And most recently, we used NFTs at our XRPL zone. We were issuing NFTs at this event where attendees would scan a QR code and then they'd collect that NFT. So like the NFT was displayed on an LCD or like a TV monitor, and then they would go up, scan it, um, get the NFT, and then move on to like another monitor to get that NFT. Eventually, we'd want to do something where if they collect a certain group of NFTs, they can redeem it for a certain type of swag at the event, or even have the NFTs randomized on the screen so that let's say they scan it, they don't know what NFT they're going to get right away. And they could get one of the rare NFTs, and that could entitle them to some bigger prize. Below, you can see like these NFTs. I've just listed them on XRP Cafe as their own collections as well. So you see There's one from the London one with like a London bus. There's one from Toronto, and this is one from Paris. Oh, and on bottom right is a university we work with. I forgot their name. They're in the UK though. Um, and they issued an NFT as kind of like a course completion certificate. So basically, all that in a nutshell is saying that it helps create stronger communities. Just because NFTs are something that you can share in something like Discord, and then you can relate with other people who have those same NFTs. Um, you can look forward to collecting the next NFT that your group is kind of interested in together, and achieving like receiving that NFT and then showing that off. So it's not just about points anymore. It's also about attaining a certain level within a sub community. Here's some of the art that from the Starbucks community, people have started creating their own stamps. And here's some of the art that people have created. And then you can see some of the reactions on the bottom. Um, I just took this. So there's quite, you can see this just shows how much activity there is and engagement. Are there any questions? Okay, cool. So I'll move on. That was the e-commerce part. I do have one more example, but it's going to be more into the coding and like how to develop NFTs on XRPL. Oh no, sorry, there's more. Okay, so here's an example of um, how a brand like Shopify is embracing NFTs. So they have this thing called token gating. Token gating makes basically means like a storefront where it can see your wallet. You've connected your wallet, and it can see whatever NFTs you have and identify you or segment you as a customer based off of those NFTs. So let's say they're doing discounts, flash sale, a drop of that sort. It could be like a limited edition drop. Um, and you might only be able to purchase like a pair of sneakers or whatever, a t-shirt, if you have a certain set of NFTs or one NFT, for example. And this is really good for like combating bots, because when I was at Shopify, there wasn't like a single flash sale or drop, which bots were complained about. People always complain about bots because they were the first ones to buy up the product and then resell it at like a huge markup. Oh, token gating, just think like a website where it knows your wallet and will offer you certain things based off your wallet, even customer support too. Um, there's a watch company called Breitling where they don't actually store your your personal info, but they'll give you an NFT with your watch, and that will enable you to get like the warranty and service and support. Um, so Shopify has a very specific API that they use called the Tokengate API, and that just integrates this whole wallet checking as part of their checkout process. Here's an example of one of the projects building on the Tokengate API using XRPL and Zum. Zum is the most popular wallet at the moment. The problem with Zum though is it's not browser based. It's only available on mobile. So you actually have to use your phone to scan a QR code. Ideally, when you press connect wallet, it'll do something very similar to like what MetaMask does. And there are a few browser-based XRPL wallets working on this. So one that I know of is Gem Wallet, and another one is called Crossmark. If you look those up, they might have APIs available where you can tie into that, so you don't have to serve a QR code like this. But basically, what you're seeing is like on the product page, they connect the wallet, they scan it. Now the website knows who they are and like what kind of NFTs. Well, not who they are, but what kind of NFTs they hold, and it's able to apply a discount to their checkout. Uh, so one thing to mention is that the the collection is not handled based off of like the contract address as it is in Ethereum, because we have no contracts. Identify a very specific uh, NFT from a collection. We use the taxon ID. So taxon is just some numeric number you apply to a set of NFTs within an account. So using the issuing account with a certain taxon ID, you can identify very specifically a collection. And so like if you're a store and you say, I only want people who hold this collection, you do an if statement with taxon and the wallet address. Here's that same example. Yeah, so in addition to merchandise, you also have Ticketmaster. They recently started dabbling with NFT tickets, or like the ability to reserve tickets based off of an NFT system, just because they've been in the news a lot lately with specifically with Taylor Swift about those high demand concerts that bots will always have an advantage over because they have all the technology and all the resources versus someone who's just purchasing it for their like daughter or something. And then flash sales here. Yeah, and here's the watch company I was talking about, Breitling. You no longer need to submit your contact information. And that's kind of good because they sell $20,000 watches or even like $50,000 watches. And having if you were to hack that customer list, um, like that customer list is pretty valuable to hackers because you have the high net worth individuals basically. So you can target them in certain ways. This actually happened when I was at Shopify. Uh, Hackers targeted because Ledger, the hardware wallet, um, sells their products through Shopify, and so hackers targeted Shopify for the customer lists of whoever bought a Ledger, and that's an ongoing like lawsuit that's currently happening because it actually put people at risk. If you bought a ledger, that means you have crypto and probably enough of it that you want to store on an actual dedicated device. So why do companies do this? Why do they want stronger communities? Um, Basically boils down to more revenue. The more engaged and loyal the customer, uh, the more revenue they'll have. So if someone buys five things because they're engaged in the community versus just buying one thing, they make more money off the more engaged customer. And another one I did speak of is actually royalties. So when you have an NFT, you can often sell it for a profit, actually. Um, and then in addition to the, selling the actual product, um, the companies can retrieve the royalty off that as well. So imagine like you're selling your Breitling watch, You'd have to sell the NFT too, because that's a major part of the whole package to get the support, the authenticity. Uh, and the company would capture the royalty versus right now when people sell their Prada and Gucci bags on Facebook Marketplace, Prada and Gucci don't see that additional revenue. They actually don't see the sale at all. So you can see Starbucks issued these NFTs. Uh, like the holiday cheer one was just given away for free, I believe. And as of this presentation, it had a floor price of $1,100. And so they're making some sort of royalty off of every resale of this NFT that was given away for free. Also, I mentioned Nike's NFT revenue. It was in the hundreds of millions. Roughly half of that was due uh, to royalties. Okay, so that's all I wanted to cover with this presentation. We're going to move on to the coding part now. First, are there any questions? Okay, I guess there are no questions. Thanks, Randy. Okay, that's that. Okay, part one is the demo app. So what we do in this demo app is first we create the wallet on a test network so that we don't have to use a real XRP. We mint an NFT, then we create a sell offer for that NFT. Then through another wallet that we'll also create, we accept a sell offer. So those are the general flow of the NFT. Um, and all of this is built in. So you don't have to code a smart contract to handle all of these steps. You just have to call an API. Okay, so if you could scan this QR code, you could do this on your phone, or you could, I'll paste this link. Whoops, gotta go back now. Okay, I'll just type this in the chat as well. I'm gonna retype it. It did something funny. Okay, I'll give everyone like a minute. So I'm gonna open up this app. So you should see something like this, a very basic UI. Is everyone able to get to this page? Okay, so let me explain the UI. It's very simple. There's only one thing to do here. There's one button. And then the steps I talked about earlier on the previous slide, they're just the different tabs along the top. If you're looking for any documentation about how this page was coded up, I've included some links on the right. And these are the specific API calls that you can make in order to like achieve what's happening here. And if you want to see this live on Explorer, on an Explorer, you can use BitHop and point it to the testnet. So I'll open this in a new tab. So we haven't created anything yet, but this, you can see it's on test.binhop.com. So it's on the testnet. You can also right click and view source. The main thing you'll want to do is look at the script, which is the JS code for the actual app. So let's go through this and create an account. So what we're doing here is we're just telling the API, hey, give us a hash pair with a public private key, and then an address, and it's also going to return a seed. And it's at the same time, it's going to fund that wallet. So if I take the address of this new test wallet I just made, and I go to the Explorer, paste it in, you can see like I funded this wallet with 81,522 XRP. And then one thing to note is that when you have an account on XRPL, you need what's called a reserve amount. And so reserve is 10. So if you're actually doing this on mainnet, 10 XRP is about like $5, 5.50. You're gonna have to reserve about $5.50 US just to keep the account open. And that's to prevent from spam. And then anything over that you can use to send back and forth, pay for NFTs, that sort of thing. So now next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna mint an NFT. So IPFS is like the protocol used to store images for NFTs, because this image here, when I mint it, you'll see what it is, but this hash will always point to the same image. And by that I mean like no one can change the image on the back end on the server, because if I pointed it to something like jason.com/cat.jpg, um, I can show a cat today, but then I could just change the image on the server to a dog, and then anyone going to cat.jpg in the future would see a picture of a dog. So you don't want that. You want it to always remain the same, because an NFT is kind of like art, and that people paid for a certain type of art, and that's what they want to see every single time. That's why we use IPFS. We won't go into IPFS here, but if you want to learn more about it, I think just ipfs.org. So from what I've seen, everyone's been using IPFS. Um, where they pin it, so someone actually has to host the image, and usually that's called pinning the image. And I use Pinata, but Infura is also one that does it. I think there's a few more. I'm not actually sure which is the most popular service to pin and host the actual image. I would say, yeah, IPFS is the best option for storage. To mint, I just have to give it the IPF address as well as a transfer fee, which is the royalty. Could be anywhere between 0 and 50%. I'm going to choose 0 and then the call off to the network. And what it gives me back is the token ID. So it's minted an NFT, and we can go look at it on the testnet, or you can even see here. If I go to owned NFTs, there's the NFT I just created. And if I copy the ID, you can see that it matches up. So we want to create a sell offer next, and let's see what we need to do that. So to create the sell offer, we need the token ID, and we need the amount that we're willing to sell it for. The value is in drops, and I chose to sell it for 50 XRP, which is 50 million drops. So that's this big number. To help you out, there's like a handy function called XRP to drops and the XRPL.js library. And again, on the side, you can see all of the functions that I used to create the sell offer. So let's press that button. So now I have a sell offer. Um, and when I create that, it gives me an NFT offer index. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is that upon creating the NFT, in your account, your issuing account, you'll notice that the reserve actually goes up by, has gone up by 4, but you mint a new NFT, you need at least 2 more reserved XRP. Oh, the reason, okay, sorry. The reason when it went up by 4 was because you need another 2 XRP for each sell offer. So like there's a little bit of math to be done here. If I want to mint an NFT, I need 2 more XRP in the reserve. But that's good for what's called a page worth of NFTs, which I believe is 30. Um, so that 2 XRP gets you about 30 NFTs stored on your account. If you want more than 30 or whatever that page number is, 30 to 50, we need to put another 2 XRP in the reserve in order to like hold additional NFTs. And the reserve will automatically, like it'll automatically tell you if you don't have enough reserve. When you do the API call, you'll get an error message. Now, for sell offers, each sell offer on its own is 2 XRP. So if I was to create another sell offer, that reserve would go up to 16. Because we have 81,000 XRP, it's not really a concern for us, but you can imagine like you don't have 81,000 XRP. You probably have 20 XRP in your account. And so you might easily come up on that reserve limit, and which would require you to put more XRP into the account. So here's the offer index. And if I paste this in here in the chat, what someone could do is on the next tab, assuming, yeah, so everyone should have at least 50 XRP, should have 81,000. But all they would have to do is paste that offer index and hit accept sell offer. Now I can't do that. It'll probably give me an error because I can't sell it to myself. But anyone else could. I know, Randy, I don't know if you've been following along, if you wanted to paste that NFT offer index. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot. So you can see what happened. The offer was accepted. And you see like, because I don't have a sell offer open anymore, and I don't have an NFT in my account, my reserve just dropped to 10, and those 4 were freed up. So let's see. Yeah, if you're putting out a lot of sell offers, which I did at the event, you might want to put an expiry on those sell offers. Like I said, each time you create a sell offer, you're going to have to put down 2 XRP into reserve. And so if you're creating like 200 sell offers that are just sitting there with people not accepting them, you're going to have a lot of XRP tied up. Okay, so that's pretty much Is it yeah, is it possible to escrow an NFT? I'm actually not sure about that. I know there is an escrow, yeah, there's an escrow feature on XRPL. NFTs are treated just like tokens. So I wouldn't see why not, but I'm not 100% sure. So that was the demo app. Part two, okay. How we did this. So like diving more into the code, um, about how we did this at XRPL Zone and Consensus Austin. So what was the zone experience? It was a side event right across the street from Consensus where people could come by and explore XRPL. Like I had mentioned, there were QR codes. We actually offered a QR code which gave people 16 XRP or roughly that amount. And that was to cover the 10 XRP for reserve, the 2 for the NFT. And I think like I don't think they needed, yeah, they weren't creating sell offers, but there was another uh, activation where there was a point of sale terminal that one of our partners was working on where people could try it out. So we gave them like 3 XRP to try transferring to or purchasing something on that POS terminal. These are the 4 NFTs that people could collect. It was the first time it was tried at the event, and it was actually the first time we didn't just talk about like how to develop. We showed people in real life what you could possibly do. Okay, so another example that recently came up was Aloe Yoga. If you go into any of their stores, you'll probably see this little cube sitting there. What you do is you just tap your phone on there, and that's like an NFC type device where your phone is going to show a link, and that link will allow you to claim an NFT. But you do have to set up a wallet on MoonPay because MoonPay is where that NFT is going to be stored. This has nothing to do with XRPL. This was a Polygon initiative. Um, but yeah, it's just a cool example of how merchants are using NFTs. Okay, so how was this made? First, we had to set up a event wallet that held all of the NFTs. So we pre-minted all of these NFTs because you can also mint the NFT on demand. It just takes a little longer because that's another transaction step that has to communicate with the ledger. XRP Cafe did do it that way in their booth, and they were giving away NFTs too. Um, it maybe added like 5, 6 seconds to the entire experience. Not too bad. But we pre-minted them. There was like 200 NFTs sitting in a wallet, so we had to the reserve probably went up to 30 or 40. So in order to create a wallet, you can go to this faucet page, um, click generate test credentials. Here's the QR code for that. So if you create credentials on the testnet, you can use them on DevNet or any other network. It's just a mathematical hash of uh, cryptographic key pair. This is the code. Uh, what I'm doing here is I'm calling the Zum package. You can see Zum up the top. In order to interact with Zum, you have to sign up for like a developer account. And when you sign up for a developer account, they're going to give you an API key. And you use that API key, you put it into this boilerplate code. Um, and basically, when someone clicks the button or scans, so the way it works is they scan the QR code and then click the button. So when they click that button, it would call the Zum package, and the Zum would feed a QR code, and it would handle the authentication of that person and get their wallet address. So like there's a success, whoops, there's a success event down here, zum.on success. That was when they've been fully validated. They've agreed to share their wallet address. And then I would actually call uh, a function, a Firebase function called send XRP and give it that address. And then that code would send the XRP. So this is the code that actually sends the XRP. I have this random seed address in the sample code. But basically, from seed says just give me the wallet object. And everything in XRPL is a transaction. So if I want to mint an NFT, that's a transaction. Obviously, this is sending XRP, which is a clear transaction, but creating a sell offer is a transaction too. And you basically build this blob here with it's a JSON object with certain parameters. Oh, sorry. What's actually happening here is validating the account wallet to make sure that it has enough XRP to send to the person requesting it. So you can see at the bottom, it just says if XRP balance is less than 30. And the transaction that was actually sent over was the account info. It was a command of account info. Yeah, this is where the 10 XRP are sent to activate the account, and then 2 more to hold the NFT. We just sent them 15 in total. The transaction type was a payment, give the account wallet address, the amount, and the destination. And then what I would do down below was I'd log their address into a Firestore database. You can use any database that you want, but that was just to make sure that they weren't repeatedly getting 15 XRP and just draining the wallet. So they can claim 15 XRP once, their name gets logged off chain into a database that I have, and that database is checked in the future for if they try to scan again. Then there's the claiming of the NFT part. First, you have to check their wallet to see if they already have the NFT. And so you can see this transaction called account NFTs. And that's basically saying, give me all of the NFTs associated with this account. And then I just use an array, I mean, like a loop to go through each of their NFTs, see if they have the NFT that I'm issuing. And I mentioned this before. So, like, the collection is identified by the taxon ID. And you can see in this if statement at the very bottom here, says if the issuer is equal to my wallet and the taxon ID is indicated is the same as the one that they want, and they already have it, then just send an error message saying you have already claimed this NFT. Okay, because we pre-minted the NFTs for the event, again to save a little bit of time on the transaction. There were hundreds of NFTs in the wallet, and any number like there could have been 5 people trying to claim an NFT all at the same time. But we just had to, in order to offer an NFT, you just have to go through your existing NFTs in the wallet and find the one that doesn't have a sell offer on it. And that's the one that's available to issue to the person who's trying to retrieve the NFT. And that's what this code does. Because there were so many NFTs in the wallet, you'll notice that the transaction to get the account NFTs was appended with a limit parameter here. And that's where I just bumped it up to 400. I think default, it's only 100. So if you just call that, give me account NFTs, it'll by default cap it at 100. And then I'm just going through like the specific collection through the taxon ID, and I'm just trying to filter out anyone that doesn't have a sell offer. When I found one that doesn't have a sell offer, I'll return it. And that's the specific NFT ID that I want to give to the person who's trying to retrieve it. And then to claim the NFT, like I said, okay, first there's an error where there are no more NFTs, and then I throw an error about that. But then to create the sell the create the sell offer, it's basically a transaction. So here's what we're doing. There's a transaction type called NFT token create offer with my wallet address, their wallet address, the token ID that I want to transfer to them. The amount in this case was 0. Flag was 1, which indicates a sell, versus a 0 would indicate a buy. And I also add an expiration time. The expiration time is just so that I don't tie up the reserve in case they like never claim the NFT. Because on their end, they also have to claim the NFT once I create the sell offer. Let me just actually mention something about this. So when you like create a sell offer and you put an expiration on it, and let's say they don't claim it and it expires, that NFT the sell offer is still sitting in your wallet. You actually have to go and cancel it with another transaction. What's funny is XRP Cafe, that exchange that was doing the presentation with me at Consensus, they actually have a script that cleans up all the expired offers, so they can cancel it for you. And that's interesting because anyone can cancel an offer that's invalid anymore. That's no longer valid. Like that's something I found out from them. Like I was curious as to how they were doing it, and they told me that yeah, it's something about anyone being able to cancel an offer that's no longer valid. So if you wanted to try it out, you can actually download the Zum wallet here. Um, I'm not actually sure if there's enough XRP in the account still, but give it a try. There might be. And then you can also claim the NFTs. And that's it. Are there any questions? I think we have about 8 minutes for questions. Is anyone currently using NFTs in their project? Oh, we have a question. Meta Village. Oh, that's an interesting question. Some countries don't approve of NFTs as payment on e-commerce. Yeah, I remember. I think I read something about that in Shopify's Tokengating API. Basically, putting that onus on the merchant, saying like, You have to verify that it's legal in the jurisdiction that you operate. But from what I see in North America, it seems to be okay because like there are big companies that are utilizing NFTs. Do you, so whoever asked that question, if you know of any specific country that does not approve of NFTs to be used in this way, um, please send it my way and I'll look into it. Yeah, so there's no way to bulk mint an NFT through the API. There is something that's been built by XRP Cafe. I forgot the name of it though. And then currently, from what I understand, it's only available on Android. Yeah, I'm trying to search my notes for that exact name of that application they built. Twitter feed. Alternatively, you can also just message them on Twitter. That's XRP Cafe. This is one of the larger exchanges for NFTs. Yeah, sorry, I can't get the name of that tool right at this moment, but maybe ask Marco. He should know the name of it. And it is on their feed, their Twitter feed, but it was from a couple months ago. Oh, the structure for adding metadata. There's a very specific structure um, that's kind of widely adopted right now. Let's see if I can find that for you. Let's share my screen again. We'll look at one of the NFTs that were generated for the event. Maybe this is sorry, this on testnet. That's why. Let's take one of these NFTs. We'll see this URI should point us to some metadata. This is kind of like the structure that everyone's using. There's nothing officially released um, or agreed upon, but this seems to be the one that is gaining the most traction using this schema here. And there's the schema. If you type in, I believe it was by someone named X XRPL NFT, or try XLS 20 was the name of the feature release schema. Yeah, this is probably it. So I will paste this to the chat as well as this. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for coming out, everybody. We're out of time right now. Best of luck with all your projects, and feel free to reach out to me if you want to talk about your project or anything. I'm happy to work with you. We would love to uh, work further with any projects like that participate in the hackathon. So reach out to me or Marco. Hey, thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.